Looks like we are here. We are here. We are here. All right. Welcome, everybody. Again, greetings. You are tuned in to the Beatzilla PDX official show. I am Beatzilla PDX officially. Looks like we have a few things to talk about this week. It's been a minute. So, you know, a lot has went on. Again, you can follow me on Instagram at BeatZillaPDX. You can follow me on Twitter at BeatZillaPDX and on Facebook even at BeatZillaPDX. And at the Melanated People app, you can follow me at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. And if you have any questions, show topics, please email me at ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. Well, so as you see the title of the show, how white supremacy handles its losses, or deals with its losses, rather. We've had this trial, the Derek Chauvin case, actually bring in a conviction, which is kind of interesting. Um, I'm kind of surprised it happened that way. Um, Maybe most people who would have wished things went a different way were so used to things going different ways in the past that they don't really know how to handle it other than lashing out. And even during the trial, we saw how the judge was kind of funny style. And then as it so turns up today, a picture of this judge who is literally throwing up the white supremacist okay sign. Uh-huh. Look at that. So, when you have these white supremacists in law enforcement in places of, you know, where you can determine the outcome of someone's life, this is extremely dangerous. And to ignore it would be stupid. But we do have a lot of people out there that like to play dumb. Um, I think mainly because it's more of a safety thing. They feel safer playing stupid. But as you can see, the man's clearly throwing up the white supremacist OK sign. So you have a lot of some of the brain dead zombie Biden sexual, the demo zombies, that just really will refuse at every turn just to see the truth. Um, and given our current state of affairs, we can't afford to do that. So, with that being said, let's take a look at some things. Go over here, and in the meantime, you can please get those likes up. And I want to show you some some tweets, some tweets that some of them might have been deleted by now. Because they were going full blown racist. So this is what you have to understand: in the system of white supremacy, uh, it basically thrives off of imbalance. So when you have something happen that actually kind of represents what an equal scale looks like, they'll call that imbalance. So um, there's that. And so when you have such an imbalance, um, in their favor, anything that makes them feel that they're losing any bit of that power makes them lash out. So, we'll see. We immediately saw just in the day uh, the young sister, Micaiah. I'm sorry, I cannot place her last name right now because I was actually just looking at the Dante Wright thing. Um, but all of these ambush killings, also the other brother, Andrew Brown, that they shot in the back driving away. So these are a lot of things that are going on. Are you kidding me right now? Never fails. But we're going to get this out nonetheless. I'm probably sure the notifications did not go out. So let me see. Let me let me post this on Twitter real quick because I'm imagining that uh, for all the tags that's in this particular video, uh, this probably didn't go out. Okay, here we go. Do you know these people are still actually commenting on the post from last week about Samaria Rice? And these people are still complaining about how, you know, oh, they're not fraud and this and that. That's at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what I think because I'm not with that organization anyway. But it matters what the IRS has to say if it's fraud or not. So if they spent money that wasn't theirs to spend, then cool. And if things were nefarious about them getting their how they get their money, well, then there's that too. Um, but at the same time, we have random black children out here just getting ran up on by race soldiers to make sure they withhold that order. And it's more or less, um, it goes back to holding on to the perception of power. So, if you get someone to believe you have a power over them, and they start accepting that as truth and fact, then you in fact do control that person. It's when people start bucking, which foundational Black Americans have traditionally done here. Um, you know, and have had to endure cruel repercussions from slave masters behind ideas of even thinking about liberation. So, with that being said, um, some of our people, they use some of our people as tools. So we're going to have to be really mindful of watching how they use people here because they will start to wheel black folks out on the left and the right uh, to kind of be as in a distraction. We already have the HR whatever bill that really is a nothing burger because they're already talking about passing their law, the anti-Asian hate crime bill today. Now, with all of these things that have just happened, uh, let's see. With all of these things that have just happened, um, you would think people should be looking at black folks to get a anti-hate crime bill, but we can't even get a hate crime identified. So even when it's happening to us, we just had a racist down there, and what was that, New Mexico or something like that? He's over there. They call them baboons and coons and blah blah blah. And blah, blah, blah. I mean, they're going all the way in, and then he actually pulls a gun on some black folk, and that's not considered a hate crime while wearing neo-Nazi gear. So the targeting of black folks, it's obvious because how can you have another white woman run up on some children, try to run them over with her car? I still haven't heard yet if there's hate crime charges in that case. So these people are upset. And one of the big things that for police, and I guess you can even say the average white person, one of the biggest things that this Derek Chauvin conviction, um, one thing that it does is it flies in the face of the Dred Scott decision. You see what I'm saying? So with that, you have to think that people are like, well, wait. So we don't have this other out of harming black people with impunity. It's kind of begging the question. So that's why you're having a lot of people complaining. So but you gotta know what they're complaining about and the reason why they're complaining. So they recently just sent out Ben Carson, And this is an example of how they use black people to be spokespersons for them to send out dog whistles. And this man should be ashamed of himself. Let me show y'all this. Okay, so Ben Carson argues racial equity is another kind of racism. How? I mean, really? Another form of racism. Let me make that one. Now, how do you consider that? So when black folks are looking to be equal, Ben Carson is looking at it as if to be equal, white people are losing something because that's really what he's saying. You know what I mean? Hey, Ashley, how you doing, my sister? Yes, that's crazy. But we should expect that from Uncle Ben because that's basically what he does. Come out there to circumvent the message. But truth be told, it's about that Dred Scott decision, and they understand that things are changing, and this is sets a legal precedence. So now what do you do? So now you got cops just straight going ham. There is a video. I need somebody to send that to me. But when they killed that sister out there in Ohio, this child, do you know the police had the nerve to say Blue Lives Matter? Right. I'm great. I'm really good. And things could always be better without the bullshit. But we still got to live with it, sift through it, and dismiss it. Most of all. So yeah, this is an example. We already seen Candace Owens do her routine, so we know we know what that was going to be because she's a mouthpiece for white supremacists anyway. So as her. Oh, and then y'all know y'all had to see Herschel Walker's son's video. Silent Dia tagged me in that. That Lord. Yeah, Captain Cringe, just to say the least. Captain Cringe. Herschel Walker, do whatever his name is. CJ Walker, I don't know what that boy name is. But he get out there talking crazy, just like Herschel Walker did when they was talking about reparations. And he couldn't even get his words out, And this man, Herschel Walker, I don't even understand why you would put him in a conversation about reparations. Like, this is a football player. Not even active at that, and it has never ever been, like a voice in the community. So I mean, it's amazing. Oh wow, really? Well, yeah, and I remember when Hillary Clinton was behind that push in the '90s, the early '90s, to get all them jobs going on overseas. And that was a perfect tactic. So as they're sending our jobs overseas, they're giving loans for people to come build businesses in our communities. Perfect. And so gentrification went. So these people still gets to keep their businesses, and then they get bought out once the job is done. Because I've watched that happen in my own city. So once they come into your city, post their liquor store up, and then after a while, the neighborhood ran down. Gangs done, well, supposedly gangs. It might be someone else that has badges doing some of the shooting in these neighborhoods, but who knows? But you would watch the property value go down and just the neighborhood deteriorate like that. And next thing you know, we're coming with urban renewal. Yeah, you know what that means. Urban renew your black butt out the neighborhood. What we got here is called the numbers. So it's basically you're moving out to the suburb to which they have predestined to get ran down. Yes, all slaps in the face, all slaps in the face. And one thing I always say, reparations is not just one cash payment. It is a cash payment, but it's a system of correction. This is corrective action. You literally took people and forced them in chattel slavery, and then had their generations born in it. That's a horrible sin that should never go unchecked and looked at. Never forget, because one thing they always want you to do is forget our trauma and pain. They want you to live with it. Shoot, these people can't watch a person get convicted. Who you watch kill a man. They couldn't even they didn't even want to say it in the news, that it was like, oh well, yeah, it's alleged killing. No, we're watching him kill it. The question is, can they get him off? No, we saw what he did. Can they get him off? That's all we need to know. Now with this judge, again, uh, he up there throwing white power hand signs. Uh, that kind of lets people know what's happening. And then you have the oh man, yeah, none of this is crimes against humanity. Ooh wee, right. You know, Ashley, that's so funny you said that. Because that's one of the things that they're doing right now is trying to cast a different light. So they're trying to kind of throw Chauvin under the bus now to where, hey, look at him. That's the bad apple. All the rest of us that are just as ruined are different. Um, they're not. Uh, but that's what they'll sell. They'll sell that. It sounds good, but at end of the day, it's game because they need to hold power and hold control. So as long as people see them as being so far up here, that's what has kept them on top. And January 6th had them losing some of their luster. That's one of the biggest things that hurt them because now you can see what they are. And the thing about it is, it shows their hypocrisy. I mean, their hypocrisy is off the chart. Now, some people like to hide what they say behind conservatism. Well, yeah, there is that. But let's just really look at what these people. Now, I'll just be fair and we'll start with this first one. So, this is a conversation that I was sent going on on Twitter. So, this Cassandra wears heels lady, notice how leftists are totally unable to refute any conservative arguments with any intellectual heft or substance and must rely solely on hateful personal attacks to respond to conservatives. Oh boy, that's rich. Oh, that's good. Um, yeah, I don't think having an argument about watching somebody murder someone in front of children and then try to say, oh, it was the drugs in the system, or oh no, it was these unruly children that the police were scared of, who were, you listen to the recording, they're saying, hey, render him aid. What can I say? That's the hypocrisy because, think of them brothers that got fired out there from that hotel in New York for not jumping in and saving a woman from a dude who was kicking her, who actually ended up coming out of prison for killing his own mother. Nah, they lost their job for not risking their life against a murderer. But you're upset because this guy is going to prison for actually murdering someone in front of other people, but tried to make them bystanders more violent than even a person who has killed his own mother. I mean, if anybody watched that trial, that lawyer is a grade A piece of crap. Just no question. Um, and moving forward. So let's go into the real hardcore white supremacy that this girl was really feeling. So she's actually trying to use this as some kind of line as oh well, no, I'm not really racist. Let me make this bigger here. Let me just make that the whole screen so you can see what I'm saying here. All right, can you see this? There is no difference between the terms white privilege and nigger. Anytime you see somebody doing this is a person that just desired to use the word. Um, and I don't even understand how you would say white privilege in the same context as the N word, because the N word is actually a targeted word. So, like, you're calling someone this. White privilege is describing a situation. Both are derogatory terms used to hate on people based solely on the color of their skin. No, ma'am, that is not the same, and it's nowhere. I mean, yeah. So I think that actually might be gone now. But shoot, when I went to her page, she had doubled down on it and retweeted it. Hey, what's up, Silent D? So yeah, she actually retweeted that, on her own page. Like, yeah, she proud of that. Wow. So just take note of these how much of an L these people have taken. We have to definitely be on alert, because this type of anger, when you're going fully off code, because she might have been thought was being clever, but truth be told, it's just super off code. Even for a white supremacist, you're not just going to be out there doing that in this time. Oh man, the Silent D. Let me make that big. So we're talking about Cassandra wears heels. This girl here, super duper racist. So she's using the N word trying to be clever, but it's not. And here is another one. So she's doing it again. So she's like trying to double down on it and prove some kind of ridiculous point. But really, what it comes down to is she just wants to say the N word. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Yes. And this just doesn't make any sense. Well, it does. Because again, the image and the tarnish on white supremacy is heavy. And so now we have to be ready for the propaganda war. We're already in one with the whole anti-Asian thing, blacks hating Asians. We ain't targeting no Asians. We're talking in our business right now, which is minding our own black business first, you know, because we have a lot to clean up in our own community. But one of the biggest things we have to clean up in our own community are people like what I've been seeing the other day, which are basically going out of their way to condone this young sister getting killed out here in Ohio. And it makes no sense. It just really makes no sense. It's like, Ma'Khia, I'm saying Ma'Khia Bryant is Ma'Khia, because I'm not sure how she pronounces it. I believe it's Ma'Khia Bryant. They just did that poor girl so wrong. And what's different about it is when you see the video, and this is cold propaganda move they doing on this kid. The video shows it freezes because they won't show it, but they'll keep playing the gunshots, right? Well, the girl got shot in the chest. The video shows her. If he would have fired where you're actually seeing the camera stop, she would have been shot in the back. So people don't understand. The video I seen right before he shot her, the girl in the pink wasn't even close to it. It just happened real split second, but it was quick enough for him not to just drop her like that, because the girl had already moved out of the way. That's how we had such a clear shot. 4 center mass. Marksman, trained marksman. Um, you know, and some say it appears that she had dropped the knife. Some witnesses say she had dropped the knife really quick. So who knows which happened first? Because it's I know it's a hectic situation and whatnot, but at the end of the day, you can never justify uh, just pulling your gun first. Like, why did you already have your gun drawn? You could have had your taser out. I mean, but we're getting to the point to where we just need to start being honest with what we see. There's a lot of people that don't want to be, you know, because it's kind of radical, or maybe it's just kind of scary to think that maybe these people really do hate us so much so that they want to just wipe us out. Yeah, and you got to make sure that you stay vigilant and just be aware that you can't escape the truth. These people are upset. They took a big, 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 big L. And how they tend to handle their losses is by taking it out on us. So you always got to make sure, you keep your kids close. Like my son had a job interview yesterday, so I already had to go. I went out there because it was in an area where I wasn't just going to send him by himself, because I know how they are out there. They're a little different than like where I live at. They're a little more used to actual black folks. Out there, it's a lot of immigrants, so them immigrants don't be bucking. So, however, just make sure, because like we got a whole bunch of militia dudes out here in Portland, Oregon. Happy Valley, just right next door. Um, yeah, man. If you went to like any one of these gun shows in this state, you would, you see what like all of them Bundys and out there, they're out here. Clive and Bundy, and this is where they from, man. They had a whole training thing out here. And actually, they ain't the first. Actually, Oregon has kind of been notorious for having things like that happen. We had the Rajneeshis at one time, and another black cult they had a situation where they were like starving kids out and whatnot. That was kind of ill. But one thing to keep an eye on for is just like these ambush killings, and it ain't just gonna be police. You know what I mean? It is not just going to be by police. It will be by anybody who thinks they can touch us. Hey, Queen Adia or Adia, you're going to have to give me that pronunciation. Ah, so, as you see the anger stirring up and festering in these people, some of them can't even they can't even control their anti-black hatred. It's just coming right out. You just dropping full blown N bombs. So we are here. We are here. We are here. And so we must resist the narrative every single time that what we know we're not doing is what we're doing. Right now, we just in this city submitted an open letter for they're very mad. Uh, we submitted an open letter basically explaining that the people that are coming here doing these protests are not connected to this community. So just putting it out there to let people know that, they ain't us and we ain't down with them. And there's enough of us that signed on to this letter that you can easily see uh, there's a wide chain of people who are like, we're not with it. So when you're seeing all of this stuff going on TV, when they're burning up downtown and setting all these fires, these people are paid protesters. And we're making sure that we are separated from that group, because we ain't got nothing to do with that. We ain't even out there doing nothing like that. It doesn't make sense to be doing right now anyway. Actually, it's pretty dangerous. It's pretty dangerous to be doing. If some of y'all seen on my Instagram, The other day, I posted a picture of this planned march. Like, we're not done yet. Well, when I was like, man, that's dangerous. You're gonna telegraph it. And then one thing that they were doing was meeting in the hood. It's like, no, y'all got to go to the west side with that. So actually, they've been on the west side for these past few days. Um, but even still, nobody in Portland gives a crap about going busting windows out. And then we definitely don't go down MLK busting out windows at a Boys and Girls Club. How stupid is that? Let me go to Popeyes and go bust out the windows. Popeyes? Good going. I mean, you would be so surprised at some of the stuff they're doing. And then when I looked at how things were being portrayed in the national media, they're calling it Black Lives Matter and Antifa. It's a black BLM/Antifa. It literally say that. Oh yeah, yes indeed. Oh man, you never let them know. And that was the thing. Well, see, the one thing is we're those people have no connection to us. They literally come and hijack movements, and then like some of these things you have seen, like no locals have anything to do with it. And then you got these. Just look at who they catching. Just look at some of the photos of the people they are arrested. Do you really think they give a crap about Black lives? Oh man, I'm telling y'all, family, like just go look at the people they're arresting. These people ain't even got black friends. Come on, man. They couldn't. You just got to go look. But they're gonna start rolling out even more and more politicians, especially the Boulay Butter Biscuit Brigade. They'll be coming out in droves because they have to. That's why we've seen them come out. They're all out there in Minnesota, and is like Cory. Was it Cory Booker? That post. I told y'all then. Watch it because they've been called in to go talk to Joe Biden. So it's like, well, let's see what's going to happen here because I was wondering if something was going to be funky with this verdict. And then they come out with the whole, HR 40 thing. Okay, so here's a nothing burger. Do you know the day of the Chauvin trial, the verdict? Biden actually released or relieved some restrictions on Puerto Rico. So, and also something else for they were going further with on these other laws for Latinos. So he did like 2 laws that particular day. So while everybody was watching the TV, glued to the TV, he's over here sneaking these protection laws out there. And hey, black folks, black Biden sexuals, you won nothing. Big fat burger, big chunky one. Whew. But another reason is so important to these people to put this narrative out because again, now we have a situation where we have legal presidents that start addressing Dred Scott. So what they want people to do is just even totally get this out your mind. Don't even start thinking like that. So we're starting to get back into the man, justice was served, and we have finally crossed over the hill, and it's been so long, and oh man, we won, and all of this crying, and like as if he hasn't even been convicted yet. We saw, sentenced. We saw Amber Geiger. It's all distractions. That's absolutely right. All distractions. Because at the end of the day, we're still looking for our reparations and justice for so many other people. People still getting gunned down for nothing. And it's so funny that all of these people that are talking now and went to go run down and jump in front of the camera have been doing nothing this whole time. They just get up there and say a few things, And then, I mean, at the end of the day, think about the night of the election when Joe Biden was declared the winner, or not night of the election, but when they finally declared him the winner. Uh, you got Jim Clyburn up there talking about, well, what they asked him. Well, what do you guys want as the Congressional Black Caucus? Nothing. I mean, this man literally just no hesitation came out of his mouth and said nothing. Mm, mm, mm. Not. Let's get some justice. Let's not get some equity, some financial benefits, some tax breaks, something. I mean, and nothing. Black folks don't want nothing. Thanks. Thanks a lot for the future. Now you got one foot in the grave, but he's still ready to sell everybody else out. This is the thing that you got to watch. Um, and you know that mind state just don't sit in politics. It sits in a lot of these families. You know, we got some self-hating black folks out here, and they will look to sabotage your success at every given turn. Even how you view yourself, you know, they want to be able to hold that. And that's one of the biggest things about the propaganda game is, especially this spiritual warfare against white supremacy, how we view ourselves. They always want to control that narrative. That's why they come to people's different platforms and talk about what we should be talking about. Absolutely. Mm. And it, you know, they need to understand. I hope these youngsters are paying attention to the extremely dangerous time that we're sitting in, because a victory here can be a tragedy somewhere else, and that's what these people are looking at doing. Um, I hope if there's any like movement from any of these other grassroots whatever, just show up and be there. You know, I don't want to see anybody advertising because that's not really how you should be moving. I'll just say that. So you know, just show up. You know, if you guys are a crew, you know, show up on the scene um, if you can. But if you ever see anybody, you know, going through with these race soldiers, because you can just call it what it is now. That's what it is. Uh, you know, you definitely need to make sure you intervene. And I mean, you got to do what you got to do to save your people. Uh, there's a lot of trigger happy people out here, and there's people out here that just going straight out with the intent to kill. There's a man who just got caught with an AR-15 last night uh, in front of a store. They foiled him, so he got arrested. So they do got him, got his weapon, but he was intending on pulling a mass shooting. See, a lot of this is, you know, this gun talk and all of this is ramping up again. I made a tweet back in January. And okay, now that Joe Biden is officially president, look for the mass shootings to start because they're coming. And here we go. You know, we're having plenty. And then, you know what? Another thing that happened to this week is, you know, for the whole 420 thing. And I was like, wow, the verdict is coming out on 420. See, people play psychological games, and it's not just against one group of people, it's to control both sides. These people play both sides. So we're looking at a situation where, for us, we're looking at it as a victory. But for the people who, these neo Nazis and all of these oath keepers who are celebrating, they got their little 88 tattoos and whatnot, who are celebrating 420 for Adolf Hitler's birthday, they took the biggest L they could on their big holiday. You know, so you know what people I don't like to. All we've heard is be a bunch of threats about what people gonna do and this and that, and it's about, you know, being subservient, trying to take your energy away. Um, because you know how people roll up on people now. Uh, you know, the energy's different. The energy is different. That's all I can say. You know, not everybody gonna take that. Not everybody going for that. And people, you know, some people just they you make them go into the fight or flight. You might have more fight on your hands than flight. You know. So when we um when we start looking at all the things that's going to start coming at us, another thing to start looking at, folks, is people using the same phrasing and wording, um, and especially amongst like these black accounts, these extra black accounts, um, because remember these people spend billions of dollars for think tanks to make sure that they maintain order and control, especially over those blacks. You know, people like the no longer silent majority. You know, these type of entities and these many other think tanks that have existed since Nixon. These are like Hoover, uh, J. Edgar Hoover type of organizations. So they just all they do is sit there and mastermind how to control and manipulate and make sure that we never ever have any kind of unity, progress, or power. No messiahs unless they send them. That's why I posted a picture about Tamir Rice. So when people ask you what would Jesus do, say I'll be murdered like this young prince right here. That's what Jesus do. Y'all would kill him at 12 years old now. if not younger. People, I hope that you hear what I'm saying because this is the time we are in. Uh, and the propaganda really will come at every turn. Uh, Drug music, murder music, death music. That's all it really is. And another thing I noticed real quick. So when the sister first, people are putting up the hashtags for Ma'Khia Bryant or Makia Bryant. I noticed something. I noticed another little hashtag that says something about protect black girls. Watch that, because see, the last thing you need in a coming together situation is individualizing black death, and that's a trick. It's slick, but it should be obvious because nobody says protect black boys, hashtag protect black boys. It's Black Lives Matter. So if a black man gets killed, it's all black people. Black woman gets killed, we're singling out that as an individual entity versus saying, no, all of us are getting killed. So we need to deal with this together. So there is, I mean, we've already seen people working at the gender divide aspect of it. And this is one of them type of times to where as things just, the universe has a way of making things happen. So things are just coming together. Last thing they want is black men and women to start coming back together. And especially uh, leaving out the other people. So, I mean, coming back in a tight knit community where it is just us. Now, a lot of people say that's racist, but I mean, they got all these other little enclaves. It's only racist because we're by ourselves, not allowing anyone else in. And so, also keep an eye on the media, and when they're talking about the cases, watch the wording. Because one thing about this George Floyd, the wording shifted in a day. All of a sudden, everybody was so comfortable about calling it murder that was just calling it alleged before. Oh, they murdered him in broad daylight. Oh, you real bold with it now. See, that's the other thing. Um, Watch the people who only speak up for something now that everybody is accepting this as being real. That's propaganda. And the new black media is very much responsible for making that happen. And you got these old black folks that Joe Biden pushes out here in front of people. And, they'll tell, get out there and put your face on this. We got Ben Crump out there and Jesse Jackson. Where's Jesse Jackson been? Like, you're part of this, Jesse? You got justice for George Floyd? How? Where you been? You was over there getting your COVID shot looking like you was been to fall over. So again, what it is though is because they do know who the voices are and the influences are and the entities coming their way, they're doing everything to circumvent that. Now with you have some of these mothers more so along aligning themselves with the new black media, it's pretty much closing the door on a lot of game and trickery. Uh, this is what it is. And, anyway, you should be leery about who the media is really pushing out there anyway. Because look at all the look at all the work that a black person got to do to keep their channels up. Like this girl I just posted, she going through dropping M bombs. She got 40,000 followers. Her account's not being frozen. Her account's not being touched. But yet you get 10,000 followers. Oh, they're looking to shut your channel down, demonetize you, or whatever. Now what we're seeing is Google moderators coming into the chat to delete the links. So if you're a moderator on someone's channel, Google is literally deleting your moderator's links for whatever you're promoting. I've only seen that happen on black channels. No one else's. And the black channels that everybody chooses to ignore. I think if Tariq Nasheed didn't make movies, they would never mention his name. I mean, because, shoot, I mean, I've seen I've seen the Black Authority. Yeah, I have seen the Black Authority mentioned in not interviews, but articles before as being an influencer. Um, mm, yeah, because they've been doing this, and they got my moderator because he also is a moderator for Queen Amadai Shakur. So they've been like just tearing people up. They got D Tubman on Tariq last night. Uh, I'm seeing everybody in new black media kind of getting touched by Google at one particular time. So it looks like a concerted effort to me. You know, what do I know? you know. So I'm thinking that we are definitely doing something positive. I mean, we see how much resistance we get on Twitter. Uh, it's a lot of resistance out there, and it's just like when we're talking to ourselves amongst ourselves to build ourselves up amongst each other. That's where the hate is. So these we got to be very careful coming up with these warm days that we have. Because with these people are going to want to be out, but by being out also makes you vulnerable. So with that being said, you always got to be careful, uh you know in the best way you can and the best way you should, you know but make sure we look at all of these different levels. We also need to start looking at uh, local DAs and state DAs that are not charging hate crimes. We need to see who is refusing to do that. But now we'll take part in any kind of hate crime law against the black folk. No, they're not here yet. No, they'll probably they what they do for my videos is usually strike me afterwards. And what's so funny is like my channel's not monetized yet anyway, so it's like I don't even understand why you're going through the trouble to demonetize my video. But you know, I guess it's just a tap to say, hey, yeah, we're watching you too. Who is exactly for us? Us, us, and that's it. And that ain't even all of us. You know, shoot. That remnant, 1/3. 2/3 is to the wind. You know, sad to say, but I mean, we, you know, everybody can't come, man, and we got to be like that at this point because there's a lot of destructive individuals in there that want to see white supremacy still stay intact. We just got to let them go because they done. Somebody hopped on my post last night, you know, about mm, they about trying to basically make excuses for this girl getting shot to death, and I'm just like, yo, Queen Natural Candy actually, because this is on my Facebook page, so I was like, yo, take a look at this. So it's very interesting how the response all of us are getting. So you're having moderators getting their channels messed with. I mean, you're talking about people who aren't even putting out videos, but their presence is so strong that they getting their channels yanked. The stuff they post online, the news that they find, these articles, and truth be told, you know, because of just our connection to the community, people, our folks are going to feel safer to release information directly to the people who they know can get it out the right way. So, with that being said, shout out to the new black media, the grassroots, the youth, um, and the older generation that does support and understand that it's a different time that we're in, and we have to pay attention to that and be mindful of that. With that being said, I am going to wrap this live up. Because I just wanted to go through a few different avenues of the way that they will retaliate. So it's through law, and definitely through propaganda. Propaganda is going to be probably the biggest one, aside from ambush killings. So make sure you stay aware. We all got these little mini computers. They all have news apps. So make sure you stay abreast of what's going on. And oh wow, yeah, and hey man, thank you for being here. I will be back at 1:30 Pacific time with Bangani, and we're going to be talking about the volcanoes that have been erupting. And if anybody knows what volcanoes can do, when they erupt, yes, they will destroy everything, but actually through that destruction brings about a faster meaning of life, faster way. So the soil is that much richer. You got tons of minerals in it. It's kind of basically a way of the earth healing itself. So we'll be talking about that, and it should be pretty good. So I'm going to let the brother Bangani go and explain about all these different volcanoes that have erupted recently. So, and we sit, I think America has over 100. I think there is in the continental United States like 65, or between 65 and 69 active volcanoes. So, it should be good. So, y'all can please come right back at 1:30 p.m. and that is Pacific time. Again, this is the Beatzilla PDX official show right here on YouTube. You can follow me on Instagram, Beatzilla PDX. You can follow me on Twitter, BeatZillaPDX. And then you can also follow me on Melanated People at Michael Beatzilla Whitmore. Email me, ourrealtruth@gmail.com. That's ourrealtruth@gmail.com. And so I hope to see all of you back here at 1:30, and we will talk about the harvest being ripe. All right. So with that being said, y'all, I am going to say Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Let it fall and let us rise. You dig? So, ready? So, yes, indeed. I will see y'all in a minute. Shalom, y'all.